Hi, this is Paul Walsh, the CEO of Metacert. This is a quick demo to show you how it's very, very difficult for any security system to block dangerous URLs that are not known yet. So here's one for Vodafone, as in they're impersonating Vodafone, and it's not actually even, they haven't even built a website yet. So as you can see, it doesn't yet resolve. When you check the creation date or the registration date, it has today's date, which means that this was only registered today, which stands to reason as to why there's no content on there yet. So they haven't actually launched the campaign. But the one thing I want to point out here is that Google has not blocked this with their Safe Browser API, and Brave hasn't blocked it with the Google Safe Browser API or their own anti-phishing security. And also Metacert is baked into this browser because the shield hasn't turned green, which indicates that this is an unknown URL. If it was a known dangerous link, it would actually just block it immediately. So if I go to example.org, for example, it's classified as phishing for the purpose of testing. So this is an unknown phishing URL, and I want to show you how a zero trust strategy for SMS security is the best and probably the only way to stop SMS type phishing. So what does that look like? Well, here's a message pretending to come from Vodafone. This is a web-based service. I just happen to be using Twilio, so this is the implementation representing what a mobile operator would see. And on the back end is the Zero Trust authentication system. So please pay your bill before you incur a late payment fee. Too few words for artificial intelligence to be able to differentiate between a legitimate and dangerous message. So we have to only rely on the URL. And that's impossible to detect with the human eye or artificial intelligence or anything else for that matter, because it's impossible to know whether it's a legitimate or dangerous URL just by looking at the characters. So what does that look like? So click send. This is a fully functional system. So as you can see, the message appears on the left-hand side of my phone. It just happens to be a T-Mobile in the US SIM card. And as you can see, it's redirected the user. So it's rewritten this phishing URL because it doesn't authenticate as a URL that's verified. And so it's rewritten the URL. And so when I press that as a mobile subscriber, I'm fully protected because it says it's not authenticated. So that would happen with every single URL that's not verified. And that is probably the only way to address phishing, especially inside SMS messages. Instead of assuming every URL is safe until investigated and confirmed as dangerous, which as you can see takes too long, to assume every URL is dangerous unless it's verified.